So you want to know what happened? Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Yumi from Yumi the Book Demon, and if you are new here, because there are a lot of new people, you'll have noticed that I haven't been making content since I can't remember when the last time I actually made a video that actually had some relevance to anything. I know I did my wrap up and my goals for the year, which let's face it, didn't happen. But yeah, it's October. So what happened? There's a lot happened is what this is. And this is going to be a lot of editing, and I'm sorry about this. I've tried to make this video I want to say a half a dozen times before over the last 4 months. Well, first couple times the video just decided to poof disappear, and the next 4 were just really long, and I don't know how to do this any shorter, so I apologize. If this is not the content that you were here to see, please skip this video. But if you actually want to know what happened this year and the drama that was my life, stick around. I won't be making these videos very often. I will actually be getting to what I want to make, which I will cover later on. So what happened? We all know that 2020 broke most of us, all of us, me included, and I made a big video about that. I tried to return to booktube and it didn't really happen, but there we are. Essentially, life was very uncertain for most of the year. It was uncertain for a lot of people, but for me in particular, it was because I knew that I was gonna have to make an international move, and that was planned, and there was no way, around it. It was just when, how long, and how much money is this gonna cost? So finally got here to Europe. I'm back in Europe. Went into quarantine, tried to get acclimated to everything around here, trying to keep things going. Essentially, I was still doing the book club at that point. By the time the new year came around, I was so ready for 2021 to be a comeback year. I was gonna do it. I had a schedule ironed out. It was gonna be what I wanted it to be, and drama happened. There was, I think, first the emotional issue problem personally that I broke because of the Georgia spa shootings. I know that it was a blip in the sort of consciousness of the internet and the wider world, but to me that it hit way too close to home. Not only that, but it things started coming out about things that were happening where I used to live, around the closed community, the gated closed community in which my grandmother lived, my Japanese grandmother. Literally, there were 2 girls who were run over and dragged down a street by people who had apparently targeted them, down a street that I used to drive down when I was, I still lived in California and was working. And so there was just a lot of emotional things that were really bothering me at the time, and I could not handle anything. I could barely handle, making dinner every night. I had to deal with that. You also may have noticed that the Sisterhood of the Traveling Books Club is no longer a thing, and that is because of drama. I will not get into that drama, but that is the truth of it. There was drama, and it very poignantly showed who my friends were, and that was tied to the fact that I am POC, and because it was all happening in around the same time, it was a lot. I don't have many friends. I live in my head more often than not. I don't live in the external world, but I don't have friends, I don't keep friends, I don't make friends because people disappoint me. And this was a very poignant reason why I don't make friends. I know I need to go to therapy. I am in therapy. I'm working on this. Yeah, all of that put me in therapy. And it's a good damn thing too, because right around this time, right after I was just sort of getting out of that funk, I just started a new job. A job that I don't particularly, care for, but at least, my coworker's good, my boss was great. I got essentially the phone call that Bachan is dying and we don't know how long she has. You need to come back to California now. And I did. Pretty much the entire month of May, I was back in California. This was also, before the majority of people were allowed to get vaccines. So this was just traveling was a bunch of hoops to jump through, and figuring out where I needed to go and who I needed to get tested from and what documents do I need. Just the mess that was traveling in COVID. But I went back home because I didn't for my grandfather before he passed because I was also overseas and couldn't afford it. And because I could afford it now, that's what I did. And I took care of her, or I helped take care of her for like a month. And those were really hard weeks because she was in so much pain. I can't describe to you how much pain she was in because she couldn't describe it to me, but you could see it. I had the night shifts because, you know, time difference, and it was easier for me to not fully transition into that time zone. But being there alone, she was bedridden, so it was, I had to feed her, I had to change her diaper, I had to make sure that, you know, she'd been laying down for so long that her body hurt, and I was trying to ease that pain for hours at a shot alone with no one to come and relieve me. And finally, when I did get help, because I asked for one of my parents who hadn't done this yet to come and help me, it became obvious that no one was aware of how bad it was. By the time that she actually got the care that she needed, I honestly think that it was too late. I had to leave. I got to say goodbye to her while she was still lucid, and she knew who I was. And a couple weeks later, oh, almost to the day, 2 weeks after I got home, she passed away, and she passed away screaming in pain. So it's, fuck. It's not the ending that I would have chosen for her. It's not the ending that anyone wants to hear, but it's the ending that happened. And I did all that I could, but that loss is still really heavy, clearly. And it's really hard feeling helpless, you know, halfway across the world. And I was not there for the funeral. And it's been legal shit that I'm not involved in, thank God, because I don't think that I could handle it. My parents are taking care of that. But there's still drama because of course there has to be drama. After, honestly, the highlight of that whole era was the fact that Demonathon Darkest Night just went off so well, and the community came together, and there were so many creative people, and it was absolutely wonderful. That kept me going for months. And I cannot thank you all enough for being there and supporting, but that was the highlight, and unfortunately it's been buried underneath all of this other shit. I have not had the mental, emotional, spiritual fortitude to do anything of the creative nature beyond the internal, which is where I feel like I'm making a tonal shift with my channel, and it's going to seem like a very harsh tonal shift, but right now I think that's pretty much all I'm capable of, / it's the thing that I really wanted to do in the first place. And I used BookTube as a guide into making content and YouTube, when really I wanted to talk about writing. Books are writing, and it's related and adjacent to, but they're different things ultimately. In August, well actually September 1st, because that was the cutoff day, I finished Millwordy. I wrote and edited 1 million words in a single year, and a lot of people did not finish because it's fucking hard. But I guess when I'm stressed and having a terrible time, that's my coping mechanism. So I write and I edit, and I dig myself so far into writing that I don't read. I don't do much else. I don't play video games. I don't watch TV. I just live in my head. It's also through that entire time, from the time that, you know, right before I went to California, you know, till now, or through now, I guess, and the future. I was working with Jade from Jaded Reader. If you follow her, she's been doing some writing vlogs and talking about her process. I've been working with her the same way that honestly I would have a student one-on-one. If you don't know this about me, my bachelor's and my master's degree in creative writing, and I did a teaching certificate. I could technically teach in the UK at a higher education level, and I did for a year. I was a teaching assistant, but I essentially attended the lecture classes and then taught the workshop on my own. I was doing exactly what I would have done in a teaching capacity with her. She has really enjoyed it. She's, you know, she's making content about writing, I think is enjoying her world again in a different light. And through her, I have found that love of teaching and being able to express the technicalities of writing to people who want to listen to it and who want to learn from it. I was also doing this with Cheyenne. The difference is that Cheyenne has given me chunks of work and Jade gave me her entire manuscript, and I gave her everything all at once. Like, instead of giving the little snippets of information, oh, I really enjoyed this little moment between us, it became a slam in the face of, oh shit, I really do enjoy this, and I will do this for hours at a shot, and I will do this when I'm stressed and when I hate life and when I'm crying and when, you know, this is the only thing that brings me joy. Her manuscript came into my life, and me teaching her came into my life at a point where I couldn't deny the fact that this is really the content that I want to make and I want to talk about and I want to share with the world. Because I didn't spend, you know, most of my life trying to become a writer to just talk about books. I didn't. I came to talk about writing. And yes, I need books. I need, you know, I need the media to be able to share that with you and give you examples and whatever. But that's not what I'm here for. I loved doing technical reviews of books, even though I didn't do that many of them because they were, you know, long and tedious, but like I loved those so much because I got to talk about the things that I wanted to talk about and not just give it a star rating and, you know, a brief overview of what it was about and recommend the books. I loved that. I watched that content. That's the reason why I wanted to make it in the first place, was because I was like, cool, you were doing that thing and I want to do that thing, but I want to do it slightly differently. And then I realized I just want to do the other thing. So we're doing the other thing. And I don't know if y'all want to stick around for that. That you were here for book content because that's what I was making at the time. I hope you will stick around for my writing content because I think that these things will help you appreciate your books more and your reading. And while you're reading, maybe take note of why those things worked, why they didn't, why perhaps there is precedent for it doing the thing that it is doing. Maybe it will make you a better reviewer. I don't know. I would like to hope so. Maybe you'll be able to separate your feelings from the book and also the technicality or the skill that it took to make this book. Maybe it will help you appreciate your loves and your hates with a different lens. And I can give you those skills to look at your reading in a deeper way. If you don't want that, I don't blame you at all. Like I said, this is kind of a heavy shift away from the safe book content that I was making earlier. And this is going to be a lot more like AuthorTube, if it still even exists, because there's plenty of people who are like, AuthorTube's dead. And I think they would be correct. Think that we're a bunch of loners trying to build platforms and share things, and it's hard. So that's where we are. I'm still in a bit of a funk. I had to hype myself up for weeks to make this video. And I don't know when this is gonna go up because I don't know if I'm going to edit it today or if I'm going to let it sit in my camera. My spoons are already running out and there is housework to get done. There are videos to plan. There is writing to get done because I'm trying to query by the end of the month. That was what happened in this 2021 year. 2020 was the year that broke me, and I think 2021 was the year that just buried me. So I'm trying to dig myself out. If this goes up soon-ish, I'm gonna be going to a resort town called Paphos very soon, next week, in fact, from the time of this recording. So, you might get a travel vlog in between this dramatic video and whatever I make next, which may just be a recent reads. It might be a writing video. I don't know yet. Y'all seem to want this one first, so here we are. I guess thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. I don't know. Hit the subscribe button and the notification bell if you want more content that will not be like this, and possibly some writing shit in the future. Thank you all for sticking around. Thank you everyone who participated in Demonathon this last round. It was not my best work. It was lackluster. And I really appreciate everyone who stuck around and everyone who has subscribed since, considering I have been in the worst place. I guess that's it, and I'll see you in the next video. All right, bye.